Hello everybody, this is Mr. Lu. I have this interesting opportunity that I'm going to have a chance to have a meet up with a minister, and I thought I would be taking this opportunity to give some constructive ideas to him of how to help fellow Singaporeans to lower the cost of living and fight this inflation pain that is struggling through the whole economy right now. And I have come up with some ideas, but more importantly, I've actually polled my Telegram group for feedback, because I myself cannot come up with all the great ideas. So I've asked everybody from my Telegram group to give me some ideas. And by the way, we do have a great Telegram group under Lu1M65, Lu1M65, and there are about 30,000 old people there. And you're welcome to join us, and we can have conversation and chat there. And there are a lot of community members and experts there helping you to answer some of your financial questions and giving you some advice. But anyway, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to give some feedback. So meanwhile, some ideas have really came in now. The ideas are a lot, a lot. But I would say that quite a lot of them don't quite work. And I wouldn't tell you some of these ideas are, but because I want the ideas to keep flowing in. The minute I criticize the ideas, some people may stop giving ideas, and we may miss out some gems, that might come along. But I thought there's some interesting ideas that came about that I would like to share with the minister, and I would like to hear your feedback. And meanwhile, if you have any interesting ideas, I'm happy to hear your feedback as well. We want to be constructive to help the government, to steer the government towards a good solution, to help fight this inflation pain that's burning through the economy right now and burning through the population. Now it's easy to just say, cut price. Very easy to just say, give the people more money, right? These are ideas not very constructive. But let me give you some interesting ideas that came up. I'm not saying that they are all workable, and I'm sure there are some people that will fight some of these ideas. But let's think of some of these ideas, okay? In particular, there are some ideas that came up, too many, but I'll focus on property and cars, okay? Properties and cars, which are very close to the average Singaporean heart, okay? So hear me out. The first idea that came out, particularly, let's talk about cars first, okay? Is that why should one household be allowed more than 2 cars, right? So there are a lot of rich people have 2 cars and things like that. Why should we allow one household to have more than 2 cars and crowd out, right? Because then we want to encourage everybody go green. We want to encourage transportation efficiency and so on, right? So cars is no longer a private consumption, but there's positive externality, there are positive and negative influence beyond the individual household. So someone actually suggested that we should have an ABSD for cars per household. That means one car should maximum allow one car should only be given to one household for purchase, and we should not allow one household to have 2 cars. And if you want, can ABSD, right? And should be a heavy ABSD. Very interesting idea. I could imagine that there are exceptions why some family really need 2 cars, right? Let's say husband and wife are doing delivery work and things like that, they need 2 cars. I can understand why. But if it's just wealthy, I think this kind of luxury can be given to rest of people to have more chance, right? So I used to have 2 cars many years ago, and so I'm a culprit to this, but now only have 1 car, okay, 1 car. So one household, 1 car. If you have 2 car, ABSD, right? So I think it's a very interesting idea to bring down the prices of cars, right? And so I think it's worthwhile contemplating this. Why should market forces be allowed to come in when there are a lot of what we economists call externalities, right? The ownership of cars have a lot of impact to the rest of the economy. So it should be under strict government control. So this is idea number one. Idea number two is not new. I want to tweak this term, right? They use me this term called wealth tax, tax for the wealthy. But I want to tweak it a little bit to call it something like a luxury tax. Luxury tax, focusing on just two areas: cars and property. Cars and property. So what we want to say is for properties, there should be capital gains tax. That means that your profit, okay, should be taxable for certain grades of property. That means maybe above 3 million, above 2 million, or whatever the number is. I don't know what the number is, okay? There should be a capital gains tax, right? And that will help to lower some of this pressure on the upper tier and have some more income for the government to be redistributed for the rest of the economy, right? This directly don't really reduce the inflation pressure on property, but this certainly allows some income for the government to be redistributed. But the other one, a tax for cars above a certain grade, right? So, for example, people buy Tesla, people buy BM, people buy Mercedes, people buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis or whatever, right? These people have no impact to them from the inflation. Right? These kind of little percentages, no impact to them, right? And I think they are crowding out the COE that could be used for the other people, right? So increase the taxes for luxury cars, right? I think it's a good idea. Now we're not talking about robbing the rich and giving the poor exactly, but what we are trying to say that if you are of that league, I mean, how much is one Lamborghini right now? What, 1 million or something like that, right? These people can well afford it. It's a car to show off. It's a car of ostentation. It's okay. If you can buy the car, you can afford to pay a lot more, okay, than just the normal COE. You can pay double the COE and let someone else, okay, someone else have a cheaper COE, right? So I think it's a great idea actually on this one, right? So a lot of people rich and not be happy with me about it, but Mr. Lu is free to say what he wants, right? This is an interesting idea. I don't know how practical it is. A lot of people are giving the feedback that a lot of our government giveaways are tiered by size of houses and HDB or whatever. But nowadays, HDB got a lot of rich people. A lot of rich people. Okay, I can say that my HDB estate has a lot of Mercedes, BMWs. I think there are a few Ferraris, okay, and sports car and things. I haven't seen a Lamborghini yet, right? So I think the government giveaways in terms of their vouchers and things like that should no longer be just tiered simply by house sizes and things like that, but also house size and car types and incomes and maybe other measures whatsoever. It should be a collective idea, as a collective measure. It's not just one or two measures, right? Now maybe they're already doing that, I don't know, but I think that's a great idea as well. And this is something that a lot of people, by the way, the last idea is the most outrageous one. You should hear it, okay? This is the second last idea. We hear this many times. Why should HDB owners be allowed to own a private property, right? Now, this is not I come up one. A lot of people come up with this. I'm just a mouthpiece to say it, okay? So don't just be angry at me. Go to my 1965 group and scold the people if you're not happy. But I think the idea that HDB, if you own a HDB, and if you own a private property, give up the HDB to let someone else have the HDB. I think that's the concept. So this one is a very controversial, and I think the minister has said before, I can't remember a number, like 5% of all HDB owners own a private property or something like that. Okay, so I think this is an area that should have some debate. I can see more pluses than minuses of implementing this policy. And for those people who already have it, we let them grandfather this rule. But new HDB owners should not be allowed to have more than one house, right? So I think then over time you will phase out and it'll cool off some of the pressures on the property market, right? The last idea is the most outrageous one. A lot of people click like to that idea. So I find it unusual, but I'm just gonna say this, okay? So the idea is that when you the house that you're eligible to stay in should be tiered to the size of your household population. Now this is a bit controversial. Don't say I didn't come up with this idea, okay? If you have a family of 5, okay, then you can maybe own a big size house. And if you have a family of 3, you're only allowed to have a small size house, something like that. Now there are 2 good effects of this policy. Number 1, you encourage families to have more kids, right? We so desperately need Singaporeans to get married and have babies, right? Mr. Lu has 3 already, so I above national average already. A lot of you are below national average, okay? If now to think about it, have I had my way, I would actually have 4, but anyway, factory have closed. So, but this is an interesting, controversial policy where if you only have, let's say, 1 child, okay, what do you need an executive apartment, right? That's the idea, right? When you need a 5-room flat, a 4-room flat is enough, right? And so on. Now, if you have this kind of policies, then really interesting. Now, of course, someone say, what if I got grandparents and things like that? Okay, count them into the household, right? That's okay, right? So maybe you have to take care of a disabled brother or sister, count them a household. So the household size determines the size of your house that you're allowed to buy, right? Or have some form of tax system and subsidy system that tiered against towards this. Very interesting idea, okay? I don't mind sharing this idea with the minister and have a good discussion about it. I haven't think through the mechanism whether it will work or don't work, but I'm happy to hear your view, okay? There will be a lot of people at the extreme view. Some would say yes, I like it. Some would say no, I hate it, kind of thing. But I think it's better that we give this kind of ideas to help our government and be constructive about it than to just simply say, government, vote them out and bring in opposition party, that kind of thing. Not that the opposition party can come up with anything better, right? So I think what is more helpful is we come up with constructive ideas such as this, okay? And they take some of these ideas back and then they marry some of the ideas that they have. They will study the constraints that they are faced and then they make a call, right? So anyway, keep these ideas coming in, okay? Keep this idea coming in, and I will digest some of this and I'll give the feedback to the minister, okay? Yeah, thank you for everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.